BARRET রেজিস্টার্ড আইনি প্রতিষ্ঠান। আমরা সুপ্রিম কোর্ট, হাইকোর্ট, জেলা কোর্ট, ক্রেতা সুরক্ষা আদালত প্রভৃতি কোর্টে যে কোনো আইনি সমস্যায় আপনাদের পাশে সর্বদা। BARRET ল ফার্মের তরফ থেকে আজকে যে আপনাদের সামনে ভিডিওটা দেখানো হচ্ছে, এটা তার অষ্টম পর্ব। এর আগেও 7টা পর্ব হয়েছে, তো সেই 7টা পর্ব এবং এই পর্বটা পুরোটা দেখার জন্য অনুরোধ করা হচ্ছে। এটা ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল বিল্ডিং রুলস নিয়ে আলোচনা। ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল মিউনিসিপাল বিল্ডিং রুলস 2007. Open spaces for building in areas other than municipalities in area 1A. Every room intended for human habitation shall about an interior open space or exterior open space or an open veranda open to such interior open space or exterior open space. Open spaces shall be area forming integral parts of the plot at ground level and shall be open to the sky without any projection or overhanging exceeding cornices, charges or weather shades of or more than 0.5 meter wide. Every building shall have exterior open space comprising front open space, rear open space and side open spaces. The maximum width prescribed for front open space, rear open space and side open spaces shall be provided along with entire front, rear and side faces of the building respectively. For these purposes, the front of the building shall be that face of the building which faces the means of access of the building, and the rear of the building shall be deemed to be that face of that building which is furthest from the means of accesses. This provision shall also be applicable to each individual building separately when a plot contains more than one building. In the case of a corner plot located at the crossing of more than one street or passage, the rear of the building shall be deemed to be that faces of the building which is farthest from the widest of all such streets and all passages. Open spaces prescribed to one side cannot be taken for another side. No building shall at any time be erected on any open space prescribed in these rules for a building, and from part of the side thereof, nor shall such open spaces be taken into account in determining the area of any open space required under these rules for any other building. If the front open space is 3 meter or more in wide, a gate gumti shall not in any case exceed 3 square meter, and the height of such gumti shall not exceed 3 meter. The covered area of the gate gumti shall not be included in calculation of ground coverage. Arrangement of exits, section 78 deals. Exits shall be so located that the distance between two exits on the floor shall not exceed 22.5 meter in the case of a residential building or an educational building or an institutional building or a hazardous building, and 30 meters in the case of assembly building or any business building or a mercantile building or an industrial building or a storage building. For floor which sprinkle which are not part or requirement for that floor and occupancy, the distance in subrule 1 may be increased by 50%. The distance to an exit from the dead end to end of a corridor shall not exceed half the distance specified in subrule 1, except in an educational building or an assembly building or an institution building, in which case it shall not exceed 6 meter. Whenever more than one exit is required for any room, space or floor of a building, exits shall be placed as remote from each other as possible and shall be arranged to provide direct access in separate direction from any point in the area served. Requirements 79 section deals requirements regarding staircase. All buildings referred to in rule 76 shall be provided with such number of staircases as the board of councillor may require. Under no circumstances the number of staircases shall be less than 2 in the case of a building of more than 14 meter and a half in height, and one of them shall be on the external face of the building and shall be enclosed of pressure type or as per requirement of West Bengal Fire Service in case of the staircase or staircases are not facing external surface of the building or no having ventilation shaft, mechanical ventilation is required. Section 84 deals power to municipal authority to ask for sufficient means of exist, where on the basis of the report of the director of fire service of the government or any other officer specially empowered by him, the municipal authority is one of opinion that the means of exist from any building is insufficient to allow safe exist in the event of fire, or the inbuilt fire protection measures are inadequate, he may by written notice require the owner or occupier of the building to alter the reconstruct any existing staircases in such manner or to provide such additional or emergency staircases as he may determine or fire protection measures as he may in consultation with the director of fire service of the government or any other officer specially empowered by him determine. Quality of material and workmanship. All material and workmanship shall be of good quality conforming to the accepted standard of the public works determined of the government of West Bengal or Indian standard specification as included in part 5 on building material and part 7 on construction practice and safety of the latest edition of the National Building Code of India 88. Alternative materials, methods of design and construction. The Board of Councillor may approve any alternative material or method of design or construction if he is satisfied that such alternative is satisfactory and conforms to the provision of the relevant parts of the National Building Code of India regarding materials, methods of design and construction, and that such materials, methods of design or work are for the purpose intended equivalent to those specified in the code of quality, strength, comparability, effectiveness, fire and water resistance, durability and safety. 89 says states where whenever there is insufficient evidence or compliance with the provision of this rule of the or the in evidence that in any material or method of design does not conform to the requirements of these rules, or in order to substantiate any claim for alternative materials of design, the Board of Councillor may require tests to be made sufficiently in advance as proof as compliance, and such tests shall be made at the express of the owner and in such manner of the as the Board of Council may direct. Section 103 described construction not according to plan under sub rule 1 to do of rule 30 or sub rule 1 of rule 34 whenever of inspection it is found that any building or structure or any part thereof is being or has been erected or deviation of the sanctioned plan or in contravention of any of the provision of this act of the direction issued in therein, the chairman of his authorized representative may issue a notice in writing to the plot holder to appear before him or his authorized representative within such period as would be mentioned in the notice, but not less than 10 days from the date of issue of this letter, required that the plot holder or his authorized representative to explain these reasons to committed such deviation of contravention as would be mentioned in the notice. 104 describe case of emergency. In case of emergency which in the opinion of the authority involving intimate danger or to human life or health, the decision of the authority shall be final. The authority shall forthwith or such notice as may be prescribed possible promptly cause such building, structure or portion therein to be rendered safe and removed. For this purpose, the authority may enter any time such structure or land on which it stands or awaiting land or structure with such assistance and as may be deemed necessary. The authority may also get the adjacent structure vacated and protected the public by any appropriate fence or such other means as may be necessary. থ্যাংকিং ইউ অল। লবার্টের তরফ থেকে ভিডিওটা দেখার জন্য অসংখ্য ধন্যবাদ। ভিডিওটা ভালো লাগলে অবশ্যই লাইক করুন, সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন এবং শেয়ার করুন, যাতে করে অন্যরা দেখে উপকৃত হয়। এই সংক্রান্ত আরও কিছু জানার থাকলে অবশ্যই কমেন্ট বক্সে কমেন্ট করবেন।